Hey, what's going on, everybody? Manny back at you again. Welcome to DFS Zone. Going to be going over the 5-game slate in the association today, but before I get started, like always, I appreciate you guys. Drop a like on the video. It's going to help me out a lot. I greatly appreciate it. Comment down below. Let me know what you think of this upcoming slate, who you like, who you don't like, so on and so forth. If you have not, as of yet, subscribe to the channel to be a part of the DFS Zone community. Make sure you do that before you go. Appreciate that as well. If you want to be able to get just some NBA tips, some advice, some strategies, and of course a couple of picks and a couple of suggestions, some recommendations on a regular basis, hey, that's all you have to do. Subscribe down below. It's free. You'll get that information. Put on your notification bell. This way you don't miss out on any of the upcoming videos. You'll be notified right away when I post. Right now I plan to post Monday through Friday and take the weekends off until the football season ends, and then when football season ends, then we'll be doing Saturdays and Sundays as well. Okay, all right, so let's get to it, man. So Tuesday, October the 26th, 5-gamer. We got Philly at New York, Golden State at OKC, the Lakers at San Antonio, Houston at Dallas, and of course we have Denver at Utah. We go right over to the point guard position right away. At point guard at the top, we got Luka Doncic. I mean, obviously Luka's always in play. It is a small slate, only 5 games. They're going up against Houston. I have no problem with Luka Doncic in this matchup. I mean, you know what he is capable of. He can definitely just, pop off with 60, 70 any given night. This is a dangerous situation. Houston is, as far as Houston's concerned, because there is that potential of a possible blowout. We never want to play or we never want to look at a game that's a possible blowout as that is going to actually happen. We only hope that Houston plays well enough to keep themselves in this game, and that will obviously help Luka and, of course, those Houston players as well. Got a lot of young kids that you can actually target tonight as well. So at 10-9, I have no problem with Luka. I do prefer Steph Curry a little bit more against OKC, but that's another game also, which, Golden State is favored by quite a bit. But I also think that OKC has a couple of players there that can keep it going. I mean, I'm okay with playing Houston players as well as OKC's players today, even though those two teams aren't in a situation that they could possibly get blown out. But again, like I said, we're not playing, we're not going to just assume that the game is going to be blown out just because Vegas says so. All right. So if I was to have a choice, either one of the two, I'm okay. Come down a little bit. Russell Westbrook, like I said at the very beginning, first video of the year. Westbrook is going to get his. He's going to get double-doubles. I don't know how many triple-doubles he's going to get on this team. He's not going to score a whole lot, possibly 10 points maybe per game, and then he'll have the opportunity to get the triple or the double-doubles with the rebounds and assists because of the scoring, the ball handling and the scoring that is going to be taken by AD and LeBron. So I'm not high on the Laker players as of yet. Then we got Donovan Mitchell here. Donovan Mitchell in play against Denver. I don't think anybody there could possibly stop him as well. He is at home. They do play better at home. Utah does. Denver is obviously a little pissed off. They lost last night to Cleveland. Now they got to go to Utah and play Utah. But if I'm gonna play anybody in Denver today against Utah, it's gonna be Jokic, the Joker. Let's come down. So Dejounte Murray is definitely someone that I definitely like in this matchup here today. 7,800. You need 38 from him. Now, he's pretty consistent with the reboundings and assists. He definitely does those things, and he's a pretty decent defender. Can get you some steals. As you can see here, he already has 7 this year. He's playing 30 to 34 minutes a game, which is fantastic. He is their primary ball handler, primary scorer for this team. This is his team. I think I've said that before when I had talked about him in previous videos. Do like the matchup for him again today. We need him to score more points. I mean, if he can score more points, the rebounds and assists are going to be there. He will be just fine. He's going up here, 13 points per game pretty much on average with 8 rebounds, 7 assists. He's averaging 38 fantasy points. Again, he needs 38 to meet value. He's been pretty much at 34 to 36 the last 2 games. He started off the year with a 43 spot. He's capable of getting you up to 50. He has that upside, but it has to come out of the points. He's going to have to score more buckets. His shooting this year has been, not that good. I mean, his shooting has not been that. He's not been shooting that well thus far this year. But he's going up against the Lakers, and the Lakers thus far, after just 2 or 3 games, they have given up the most fantasy points per game to opposing point guards so far after 3 games this season. They've been giving up 67 fantasy points per game. I mean, and that's crazy. And nearly 7 rebounds a game. That's an area where he'll benefit from. And about 12 assists a game. But then again, they have played against some really good point guards. They went off. He just recently got Ja Morant from Memphis. He put up 43 rebounds and 10 assists. Before that, it was Chris Paul. He put up 23, 5, and 14 assists. And then the first game of the season, they played against Steph Curry. He put up 21, 10, and 10 for a triple-double. So they have had their hands full, the Lakers, with the previous 3 guards. Now they're facing a guy who is not in the same league as Steph Curry as far as points putting up. This kid definitely makes an effort to get the team involved. But if he could step up here today, take more shots, and knock and bury those shots down, and then do all the other things, all the little dirty things like the rebounding, the assists, and bringing in the defense, he can have a decent game at 7,800. He could possibly get 40 or better in this matchup. So I think DeJounte Murray is someone you can definitely put in play. There's not a whole lot right now at the moment, there's really nothing that's pending that could be of value for any team to open up value for us today. So we have to try to balance these lineups up as best as possible. I think DeJounte Murray is a good start. SGA, you can definitely go there. I've been there already this year. He's kind of burned me already. I'm sure he's going to have some great games. He definitely is going to be one of the top scorers for the OKC this year as well. 7,100, you need 35, 36. In that matchup against Golden State, it's definitely something, he's someone you can. He's an option. I have him here as an option on my pool. I'm going to dig in a little bit deeper and see where we at. But right now, I like Murray a little bit better than him in his matchup against the Lakers, considering the Lakers have had, given up quite a bit of points to point guards thus far this year. And like I said, Curry is definitely in play. Derek White, definitely like him here as well. Probably be playing him more as a shooting guard. I love this matchup against the Lakers. I think that these two, White and Murray, are the key factors for San Antonio staying in this game, other than KJ. Yeah, they need Johnson to do well in the front court, in the power forward or small forward spot, that's either a 3-4 spot. But these two guys back here, they're going to have to definitely do quite a bit of work here. They're going to have to rebound, they're going to have to assist, and they're going to have to score. And I think Derek White, his price tag is up at 6,500, but he's definitely an option. Sneaky play could be Mike Connolly. Not hardly anybody's going to play Mike Connolly, but he has the potential of an upside of 40 fantasy points here at 6,300. You pretty much need 31, 32. If you wanted to go with the young kid, you can. The Houston's got 2 of them, in Jalen Green, and then they got Kevin Porter. But I'm going to come down as shooting guard and, not come down. Jordan Poole is going to be one of the ones I'm going to talk about as shooting guard. He is point guard eligible. Derrick Rose is definitely someone you can consider here for my beloved New York Knicks. 5,626. He has probably, out of all these guys here, between him, Maxey, and Curry, I would think Curry as well as Rose have the potential to really pop off, bury some threes. Definitely are good with penetrating, driving to the basket, and creating shots for their teammates. Derrick Rose could possibly put up easily. I mean, he has the upside. Let's put it this way. For 5,600, you need 25, 26, and he's capable of getting you 35, 40 if he pops off of that in a matchup like this against Philly. So if I'm looking at this price range here, Poole, Rose will probably be my top 2 that I will like in this area. And then, of course, Curry will be the 3rd. And if you're looking at almost at 6K, K Porter will be the next option. But any lower than that, Kemba Walker, if he can get some minutes, get some shots off, you never know. This is the thing about NBA DFS and NBA in general. You just don't know. Right now, it's still early on in the year. The Knicks, Walker still hasn't quite fit in, or I don't know what it is, that he is only playing 20 minutes or 18 minutes a game. But Rose is coming in and he's getting the work done, and that's what we want him to do, to come off the bench and kick some butt. So far, he's been doing that. Brunson is someone you can consider at 4,500 who has some upside. He's one of those that can get hot from 3, can shoot the basket, can definitely get to the foul line. At 4,500, you need 22, 23. He's definitely an option as well at 4,500. But I think the key guys for me is obviously Murray, Luka, and Curry at the top. If you want to pay up for those guys, Luka probably being in the better spot than Curry because of whom he's going up against. And then, of course, SGA is obviously in a good spot here too as well, and White. Those are the guys I'm looking at. A shooting guard, At the top, we have Luka Doncic. We have Russell. You could play Luka here. You could very easily go Murray and then throw in Doncic here if you wanted to pay off for Doncic here at shooting guard. He is shooting guard eligible. Not a problem at all. We spoke about the guys above. You got SGA. You got Derek White. I'm not on Andrew Wiggins. Fournier could be someone you can consider. I mean, the Knicks need him. They're gonna need him to put up some threes and hit those threes. At 6, you need pretty much 30, 31. He's been averaging 33 thus far. He's had one big game where he got on fire. That's what they're gonna need from him today. If you wanted to take a shot at that, you can. I think the Philly-New York game obviously is the most competitive game of the night. It's only a 1-point spread. I think it's 218. We have a 218 implied total. It's not the highest of the night, but it's a competitive game. So don't take the implied totals at 218 and say, hey, you know what? It's more than likely going to be a blowout, or this game is not going to be that competitive, or I don't think I can get enough fantasy points out of it, man. When you got Embiid and you got Julius Randle and you got one of those guys like Rose or Curry or even Tobias Harris gets hot, and you could have a 218 implied total with those top dogs putting up some nice numbers to keep this game competitive, and that's what's going to be needed. But at shooting guard, I'm going to come down to Jordan Poole for Golden State. 17 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists so far this year. He's averaging almost 28 fantasy points. He's had a big 22 and a 20-point game. He gives you some rebounds, some assists. What I like is the defense. He can get you those peripherals, 3, 4, 5 steals over the first 3 games of the year. He did pop off for 40 in his last game. At 5.7, you need 27. Like I said, he could definitely get you 35, 40. He put up last game. He put up the 22, 3 and 3. He is a decent defender. He's shooting 42% from the floor thus far this year, 32% from 3. His usage rate is 25%, so it's up there. It's probably second on the team. He's taking 15 to 16 shots a game. If you know me in the past, I love minutes, I love usage, and I love shots. If you can get minutes and your usage on the floor, you are the one that's getting a lot of opportunities, and you're taking that many shots when you've had those opportunities. Those are the kind of players you're kind of looking for GPPs to take you to the next level. So me, like I said before, being a GPP player, I definitely try to focus on those things. So minutes, usage, and shots. And he's putting up 15 to 16 shots a game, and 5 or 6 of them are from 3 on average. OKC is coming in here for giving up the 5th most fantasy points per game to opposing shooting guards at 46.7 fantasy points per game through 2-3 games. They're also 4th highest in most points given up to opposing shooting guards, with 26 points per game to opposing shooting guards. So Jordan Poole, if he's going to put up 20 over the last 2 out of 3 games, has the potential to put up 20 against this team again today, because they've been giving up nearly 26 points to opposing shooting guards. So I like Jordan Poole here at shooting guard. Other than him, like I already mentioned, I like Rose, I like Curry. Josh Giddey seems to be pretty much someone that OKC is going to utilize a lot for scoring. He is averaging 29 already. At 53, you need about 26, and he put up a 49 spot in his last game. Nearly had a double-double or even a triple-double, 19, 8, and 7. He brought some really good defense, got 4 steals in that game against Philly. So Josh Giddey could be an option here at 5,300. Other than him, at the bottom, Vessel could be someone you can consider for San Antonio. Comes off the bench as well. Sometimes plays more than 20 minutes. He did play 19 and 20 his last 2 games. And again, he's one of those, as you can see here in game 1, could come off and put up some points from the floor. And next thing you know, he could get you 35 fantasy points. So he's an option. I'm not big on Finney Smith. I already mentioned Brunson. And Alec Burks is someone you could consider here as well. Got to watch out. He could be a sleeper here. He gets hot from 3 from the Knicks coming off the bench. He can definitely light it up and get you 25, 30 for that price tag of 4,300. Same could be said for Danny Green, but I never played Danny Green, so I would not, pencil him in. Other than that, I'll be it. Let's go to small forward. At small forward at the top, we got LeBron James, which, again, I already told you I'm laying off the Lakers for a little bit, but James is in play. He's always in play if you want to, depending on the matchup, depending on the implied totals. the game script, where we stand as far as who's they playing. Today is a good game. That San Antonio team is going to be a little pesky. And both teams are kind of like, the Lakers are a slow-paced team right now. They've been playing more of a half-court kind of game. So we'll see how that all pans out. Tobias Harris, 7,400. Never really played Tobias Harris unless Embiid is out. Now, if he is out, Embiid, then it's a good chance you can go ahead and you can put in Harris. And then obviously his ownership will definitely go up a little bit. Michael Porter, man, I don't know. As of yet, not on Michael Porter. Same thing with Andrew Wiggins. I think when you think of Golden State, you just think Steph Curry. I like Jordan Poole right now. I think their usage rates are high, and they're taking quite a bit of shots, and I kind of like that a little bit more. And I like the matchup better for the backcourt today against OKC as far as putting up a huge amount of points. Jayshawn Tate is definitely someone I'm considering at 6,200. You can pencil him here. I think it's right now for him, right now at this very moment, is Tate and the gentleman I'm going to talk about, which is Kelden Johnson, KJ. Kelden Johnson is who I want to play here at small forward, but you can go with Tate and then maybe put Johnson at power forward if you really wanted to just go with some young players here with Murray, Poole, Johnson, and Tate to start off your top 5 guys. You can go that route. I would not be at all opposed to that. I expect to probably have a few lines like that. But KJ is who I'm going to discuss here. He's going up against the Lakers. He is at 5.6. What is it? 5.6. So you need about 26 to meet value. He's averaging 20, almost 21 points per game. So he's going to score. We just need him to put up a little bit more with the rebounding and assists as a big guy. Last game, 20 and 27. So he's been at 20 plus in 2 straight games, which is great. Is above his 15 to start with. His minutes are there. He's getting 29 in the last game, 37 the game before that. He did put up a 42 spot, so we already know he has 40-point upside. He is a decent defender. He'll bring you some steals. He'll give you the occasional block. He hasn't had one yet this year, thus far. Thus far this year, shooting-wise, he's shooting 56% from the floor, and his usage is up at about 25 plus over the last 2 games, which is great, and that's what I'm looking at. Love to look at the last 2 to 3 games. Usage 25%. He's taking about 18 shots per game on average, which is great, and he's taking about 3 of them from 3, but he hasn't hit one yet, so he needs to get that going too. Which is, I'm certain he's going to get it going. I don't know when, but I do like the matchup for him here today. The Lakers have allowed 41 fantasy points per game to opposing small forwards as of late. Bane put up 17, 2, and 4 in the last game. Bridges from Phoenix, 21, 5, and 3. And Wiggins, the first game of the year, put up 12.7 rebounds and 2 assists. So I think he falls right in there perfectly, man. He's in a good situation. The Lakers do give up quite a bit of points to the big guys, and KJ should be able to get something done. And he's going to need to, because Murray as well as White are going to definitely need his help up front while they take care of business with the 1 and 2 spots. Other than KJ, like I already mentioned, Porter, I'm not on high on anybody else. RJ Barrett has been struggling, kind of been a slow start for RJ. It seems like surprisingly that, Randall is still taking a ton of shots. RJ is not taking as many shots at the moment. I think that will change slowly but surely as the season progresses. We have Lonnie Walker could be a sneaky play for San Antonio. Like I said, I like the San Antonio Laker game, and I like the New York Philly game. I think those are games that you can possibly game stack. We get down a little bit further. The only one that I like down here in these lower ranges is Doug McDermott, and that is just simply because, again, he's with San Antonio, and he's been dangerous from 3. As we all know, he put up 25 in his last game with 4 rebounds, 2 assists, a 32 spot, and he's capable of getting you 30 fantasy points at this price if he's hitting his 3-point shot. He gets hot there, he can be a problem. So Doug McDermott, if you wanted to save some money in this spot, maybe be your second small forward, other than KJ, then that's an option. And I already mentioned how dangerous Burks can be as well. Over here, out of Porter, OP seems to be getting some minutes now for Golden State, so he's someone you can consider. 4,200, you need pretty much 20, 21. If he gets more than 20 minutes a game to 24 minutes, he's definitely someone you can consider. He's getting 24 in the last game, and he put up 32. So let's see how that progresses with Porter, but he's an option if you wanted to go down there. I would say probably let's wait another few more games to see if he gets in that 28 to 30 range as far as minutes. And that's pretty much at small forward. At power forward at the top, You have Anthony Davis, which I have no problem. Out of the three Lakers, he's probably the one guy that's been playing the best thus far. And if I was to, throw him in there in a lineup today, which I'm not going to do, he will probably be the one. You got LeBron James there. Julius Randle of my New York Knicks. I only played him once or twice thus far in the 3 games, but I have not put him in one of my lineups here on videos. And today is going to be the day that I think I'm going to do that. He gets pumped up for these games. Right now, so far, he's still the main guy for the Knicks. No matter, even after the acquisitions of Walker and Fournier, I would think that he would be. He didn't have to do as much, but he's still doing it, man. He's just getting busy. This guy's just been killing it. 69, 60, 45. He's had 3 monster games at 9,700. You need pretty much 47, and I don't see that being a problem for him. Granted, he played 2 games against Orlando and 1 game against Boston, and it was a double overtime. But he's had a little bit of success as well with Philadelphia. But he's been smashing, man. The guy's been killing it. 28, almost 29 points from the floor per game, 11 rebounds. He's been double-double, in 2 straight games here. 6 assists per game, 58 fantasy points, 37 minutes per game over the course of the last 2 games with a usage rate of 30%. And he's shooting during that clip 43%, 29% from 3, 81% from the free throw line with 11 rebounds a game average and 6 assists. Also with 2 blocks and a steal. So he's just been taking it, he's been doing it. He's also been taking 19 to 20 shots during that span as well and taking about on average 6 or 7 threes. So Julius is doing it all. He is the man. He's been fantastic. His matchup with Philly is not the greatest. It's definitely going to be a tough matchup, but he loves this stuff, man. He really does. This game is a 218 implied total, and New York is favored by 1, so it should be a fairly close game. Now, if Joel Embiid doesn't play, then Randle should possibly easily, in my opinion, I think they're gonna need, he's gonna want to just go off completely, and I could see him getting 55, 60 or better in the matchup if there's no Embiid. Philly is one of the better teams defending against power forwards so far this year. They only have allowed 43 fantasy points per game to opposing power forwards, but the one game they had Baisley, he only put up 8, 7, and 2. They did go up against 2 decent or one prime scorer in Durant. Durant put up 29, 15 rebounds and 12 assists against them. And then Ingram and Alexander Walker for New Orleans in their first game of the season. Definitely both guys did very well in the small forward, power forward spot, with Ingram putting up 25, 7, and 6, and Alexander Walker putting up 23 points, 5 rebounds, and 1 assist. So they've been Philadelphia, even though they have only given up pretty much 44 fantasy points per game to opposing power forwards to start the year, but they've been giving up 24.5 points per game, and Julius is averaging 28, 29. So I don't see no reason why Julius cannot get his 28 points from the floor and possibly put up a 50, 55, 60 here. I mean, it's very much possible. Again, the games have to be played. Anything is possible. You never know. So I'm in on Julius Randle. Other than that, like I said, Christian Wood, it's different if he was a 50-point scorer, had that kind of upside. He doesn't really have it. Harris, if Embiid plays, I just can't see him, getting more than 35, 30 to 35 in this matchup. Kristaps Porzingis, KP, is an option, and I think for me it will be an option at center, obviously, because I already have Randle here, or I could possibly put him in here with Randle. So he is someone to consider here. He has upside, and that's what I'm looking for, and he will take quite a bit of shots as well. I had also a power forward here. Draymond Green has been playing more minutes, so he's definitely an option there. And you got Tate, of course, which I'm high on today, as well as Johnson, which I've discussed already. If you wanted to get a really low price player, Carmelo Anthony coming off the bench for LA could be an option. I mean, he popped off in the last game. Doesn't mean he's going to do it all the time. The good thing about Carmelo, if he gets 26, 27, 28 minutes, he has the potential to get you 1 fantasy point per minute and capable of getting hot from 3 in his shooting and put up 35, 40. But and the beauty of it is that he does take advantage of his time on the court, and he will take shots. As long as the ball is given to him, he will take shots. So it's an option at 49. Sengun for Houston, another young kid, taking shots as well. Definitely getting some minutes off the bench at 4,900. Could go there. And like I said, McDermott is the best option this low. And that's about it, man. That's about it. Let's go to center. At center, this is a tough spot, man. I love Jokic. I was watching a game last night as I was flipping through League Pass. I caught the Denver game. It was one of the later games, and they lost to Cleveland. This man had a monster game. Now, I do love him here again today. Granted, it's a front end of a back-to-back. He did play 34 minutes last night. He put a double-double, 24, 19, and 3 assists. He had 3 steals, 54 fantasy points. We know he is capable of putting 55, 60. He has 60-plus upside every single night. He's got to be pissed off from yesterday. I am sure unless they rest him today, which Denver normally does not do that. I mean, this guy loves to play. He takes a lot of shots. I mean, versus Utah, I looked at what he has done against Utah, and he's just dominated these guys. No, Rudy Gobert or not, he's been dominating Gobert and the Utah Jazz. In the last 4 meetings, he's put up 52, 74.9, 68.3, and 50.8 fantasy points. He's averaging over 60 fantasy points per game over the last 4 against Utah, no matter if they're playing in Utah or in Denver. They're in Utah today. They lost last night. I have no problem with penciling him in there. Now, I'm not going to make him the 5th guy because I would like to have you guys have more than $5,000 to play with. But as you can see, you still have 5. There's not a whole lot of value today. So he'll take up a lot of, but he is definitely someone you can consider. Other than that, Embiid, going up against the Knicks, he has not had the success against the Knicks that you would think like Jokic has had with Utah. Embiid versus the Knicks in his last 4 meetings, 47, 56, 47.9, and 46. So he's only had 150-plus game against fantasy point game against them, and he's at 10,000, and he also is a game-time decision with a knee. So how healthy is he going into this game if he's allowed to play? That's a question for me. Can he pop off for 60? Absolutely. But those are the ifs. Can he? He can. Will he? We don't know. I mean, it's a competitive game. He'll be fired up as well. If we don't foul him a whole lot and get him to the free throw line, he might not be able to get to those fantasy point totals. So it's a lot to look at. It's all on Mitchell Robinson as well. But Joel Embiid is an option for you guys. You could always put Julius Randle as your center and then put Kelden Johnson as your power forward, and then use Tate as your small forward, which is one of my favorites in the small forward, power forward spot as well, other than KJ. That's an option. I would say probably the best bet is to come down and take KP here. It frees you up with about 6,000 to play with. So I'm okay with Embiid. I'm okay with Jokic. I will have probably 30% Jokic and probably 30% KP, and I'm not sure. And that's just now early on. Again, none of this is set in stone, but I kind of like these guys already. So like I said, that's just why I slowed it down here and showed you that you could have Embiid, you can have also Jokic, or you can have KP. So with Porzingis, same thing, 7,000, you need 35. He has 50-point upside. That's what you're looking for, some upside for GPP, for a tournament play. If he gets hot and he takes on his shots, he can do a lot for you. Obviously, he can get you some rebounds. He'll get you some blocks and steals because he's a pretty decent defender. His last game, he put up a 46 spot. We'll take a look at that real quickly. He had a double-double, 18 and 10. As you can see, 4 blocks. He just had 6 in 2 games and 2 steals. He put up a 46 spot, so we know he has 50-point upside for this price. Okay? So he's definitely someone you can consider. Houston has been allowing 56 fantasy points to opposing centers thus far this year, and 26 points per game from the floor to opposing centers. So KP is in a pretty good spot here if Houston somehow can have Porter, Tate, possibly Jalen Green ball out and keep this game close. If those young bloods can get it done, then this could be a nice game tonight, and Porzingis and Doncic could definitely put up some huge numbers. So that's where I'm at. I think you can go either one of those guys. Pick and choose who you want. I mentioned a few other guys that are options. And, of course, do your due diligence, man. Do your own, I'm going to be doing some more stat looking. This is just now early on. I go back to work for a little while, and then I got to come back later and look over everything again and finalize stuff. So always remember, when you watch these videos of mine, I'm going over players, I'm always giving you options. So make sure you write down those options as well. Look at everybody closely, look at your stats, look at do all your due diligence, and so on and so forth, and then narrow down your plays. But this, I think these are pretty good players here that you can definitely consider today. So again, man, that's pretty much it, man. Drop a like on the video. Appreciate it very much for those that stop by and tune in. Comment down below. Let me know what you think of the 5, 6, 7 players or so, or the others that I've discussed. Let me know what you think of tonight's slate. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. I appreciate it. Become a part of the community if you want to be able to continue to get your NBA selections and lineup advice information every day. And of course, put on a notification bell. And with that, I wish you a lot of luck tonight, man. I'll see you on the next video. Peace out.